Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and also has something pretty cool in store for next week. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and welcome back to another great show. Before we get into next week, though, I did want to hit on one point a lot of you guys brought up from last week's Monday. So if you didn't watch last week's Mondays, I'll have a link right over here in the corner. You guys can click it if you guys are on mobile, or a link down in the description or annotation floating over here. I did discuss storing your LiPo batteries and what to do with them. And I do have a correction. Want to clarify, and a lot of you brought this point up. If you're going to store them just like a week or something for the next game, it's kind of like a couple weeks, I said keep them charged. Now, a lot of you brought up some fantastic points about long-term storage and to put them in a storage charge, which is actually kind of about a 20% or 10% charge, a lower charge, to store them for a long term if you're not going to use them. So that's a very good point. I want to say thank you all for the correction down there at the bottom and the clarification on that. Also, next week, big kind of a themed Mondays we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing an all HPA show, and I've actually got the guys from ProTech Airsoft who do the Mark II drop-in system and be kind of helping out with that. So we're doing all HPA questions, whether it's actually how to build an HPA gun, the parts, what you need, the challenge of what's going on with some of the fields that are banning it, anything you want to know. Anything and everything HPA related, whether it's that, Tippmann guns, Wolverine, Polar Star, whatever. So get your questions in this week for HPA. And I also have some general questions if you guys want to know, like playing against HPA users or anything you want to know. But next week is an all HPA show. So with those updates in here and out of the way, let's dive on into what you're really here for, and that is your questions in the Palco mail call. Rama Patel writes, hey Jonathan, just a question to see your input. I've been playing Airsoft for about 6 months now. I've recently gone up the milsim type of games. One big pet peeve of mine is seeing the cameramen running around and getting shot. As they want to stay light and cool now the warmer temperatures, they don't wear as much protective gear. What are your thoughts on drones in Airsoft over cameramen? Well, this is a question best asked for the federal government, believe it or not. The FAA has guidelines. Being a drone owner myself, there are guidelines of when and where you can use your drone. And one of the restrictions for the drone is you cannot fly it over crowds. Now, the number at one point was 400 people, or then I was like, say 100 people. Now the definition is kind of generally crowds in the language. So is an Airsoft game a crowd? Well, you can't fly it over them. Does that mean you can kind of fly on the edge and kind of skirt the field where there's nobody around and actually film that way? Could that be a way? Possibly. I wouldn't want to test it. Now, have I used drones at Airsoft games before, like big events, just to get some good footage? Heck yes, I have. And I've done it so the team's all pushed up. I'm flying kind of way back, overseeing, getting some good setup shots for it. Yeah, I've done that. I actually haven't even posted the video for you guys from an event I went to last year. But with the laws kind of shifting and changing, you don't want to step out of bounds when doing drone filming, especially when you're dealing with the federal government, FAA requirements. The fines that come with that are nasty. But I've seen cameramen very effectively use those riot shields. I don't know if you guys seen those, like Evic and some of the other companies sell those big clear, like kind of riot shields you can pick up. Those are great for cameramen on the field. I'd like to see more cameramen using that. I know less gear means you get shot a bunch, and I know when I'm out there filming, I tend to get shot a lot. I think few people have a tendency to aim at the cameraman and put a few rounds intentionally downrange. In fact, I know it for a fact, because I've taken some pretty oddball direct shots where I know I wasn't in anyone's line of fire, like nowhere near it, even wearing like bright colors. But that in mind, I think the shield's an awesome idea, especially if you want to get up close and personal. But as a cameraman on the field, you need to stay away, close enough to see the action, but far enough away not to give anybody away. But that's a whole other question for a whole other show. That Boy Scout writes, hey Jonathan, Battlefield 1 or Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, and do you think this is a deeper question than an AK or M4? So this is actually an easy one. I'm all about the Battlefield 1. I think that is going to be a fantastic game. Switching to the World War I, I was really skeptical. I kind of heard it was going to be that, and I was like, there's no way they could pull that off. And then I watched the trailer. Dude, that looks so cool. Infinite Warfare, space thing's kind of over and done. There's a lot of fantastic space shooters out there. So I'm not sure if Call of Duty is really hitting any brand new ground there, groundbreaking. That said, the bundle with the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, where you get Modern Warfare 4 remastered under the new engine, super excited for that, because that game was so awesome. I played the heck out of it. I just hope they break the two up. I don't want to have to buy a game I'm not interested in to get a game I am interested in. So hopefully they'll split them up. I mean, I'll pay full price for that game to play it again on a new engine. Absolutely. It's been so long. I just want to play it again. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents. I know it's just my preference, but I think Call of Duty should have gone a different direction. I think they're heading that same way. I don't know. I mean, I think they're still going to sell a crud ton of copies and make a ton of money. But for me, I'm going to stick with the Battlefield 1. Half-Track 1776 writes, "Hey Jonathan, I'm having a problem with my G&G CM18 rail. I tighten it and a week later it becomes loose. How can I stop this from happening?" So if you keep tightening a rail or pretty much anything in an airsoft gun, including like the motor screw, that's something that also tends to back out and get loose over time quite often, I do recommend putting some Loctite on it. Now this will require a little bit more work. So however your rail comes off, typically you're gonna take that rail off. If it's held in place by a couple screws and those are the ones that get loose, you're gonna put a little bit of Loctite on there. Now, you don't want the permanent Loctite, you want what they call blue Loctite. And you can pick that up at any home improvement store, Walmart, big box store, whatever. Get the little blue, so the bottle's red, it's confusing, but the actual liquid inside is blue in color. Follow the instructions, put a couple little drops on the screw thread, put it in there, it'll set up and prevent those from walking out on you. Now, if it's the whole rail coming off the front of your gun, there's actually a huge nut on there. Same process, you're gonna put a couple drops on that, here, maybe on the bottom, let it cure up, put it back together, do your thing. Same thing works for that motor adjustment screw. That's a fantastic little tip. If you have that motor screw that keeps backing out and you keep kind of getting whiny gears or grindy gears, either way. But yeah, Loctite should absolutely be one of those things that's in your armorer's kit. If you don't have that, look around your house and look for that plumber's tape, the thread tape you can get. A lot of times that does a good job. A couple little wraps of that thread tape around any of the threads and you can tighten it down. It does a better job of seizing those parts together and keeping them from walking on you as well. The Zodiac writes, "Hey Jonathan, I've been bullied for my height and I want to start Airsoft and I want to know, will my height matter and how accepting will the Airsoft community be to a little shy boy with an Airsoft gun? Thanks." Totally accepting. I can speak for just about every airsoft field I've been to. The airsoft community is very open and welcoming to everybody. You're probably not going to get picked on at all. Let's face it, we are all a bunch of people running with BB guns shooting each other, so it's kind of hard to take it too seriously, and it's just a fun hobby. I mean, it's out there hanging out with friends, having a good time, shooting plastic at each other, and then getting around and hanging out and sharing war stories afterwards. So I would absolutely say it's going to be a fantastic welcoming community, and it's rare I've seen anyone make fun of anybody out there based on their looks or physical demeanor or anything like that. I've seen some of the older players pick on younger players, just like the age. I think that's kind of common in any hobby or whatever, like calling them noobs and things like that. But shy of that, you should be good to go. Welcome into the airsoft world, coming out to the field, and love to see you out there in the field, maybe play some airsoft with you one day. All right, guys, that's it for questions this week, which means it's time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one actually comes from one of you guys out there. I've been noticing you're getting good at putting some great comments down there, some video recommendations for the next week Monday video. So this one comes from, and I hope I don't slaughter his name, Razvan Vasilu. God, I hope I didn't kill it. And this was "Hey Jonathan, I have a recommendation for you. Here's the link to the video. It's a fight from World War II remade with Legos." So yeah, what you guys see here is literally Lego World War II. It is such a cool thing. It's actually called 1941 Lego World War II Battle of Brody. It's actually by a channel called Brick Dictator, and actually surprisingly for how well this is put together, only has 70,000 subscribers. I would fully expect them to have so many more subs. I mean, but this video has like 1.3 million views and overwhelming thumbs up. So if you guys want something totally different, I know I bring like military stuff to you guys and airsoft videos and things like that, and occasionally some action stuff, but this one was just way too cool to pass up. And of course, guys, if you want to watch it, I'll have a link right over here. You can kind of click the screen over here and I'll take you over to it. Or if you're on mobile, I have a link up in the top corner here. And of course, as always, down in the description below. All right, guys, that is it for this week. And questions, as always, thank you so much for being so awesome down in the comment section. If you want to get your question on the show, super easy. Put it down in the comment section and vote up your favorites. Remember, next week is going to be an all HPA week. So make sure you put your HPA questions or anything that somewhat revolves around HPA. I'm going to be pretty flexible. We're gonna go deep, maybe actually have a little longer Monday video than usual and answer some more questions for you guys, HPA related. And also, too, thank you for being so awesome. I say this every single week. in the comment section below. There's so many questions I just can't get on the show and can't answer them because you guys ask so many fantastic ones, but you do such a great job of helping each other out down there. I love the fact that there's like not any crazy arguments in the comment section. You guys are so cool with it. So until next week, guys, go out, play some Airsoft, put your HPA questions down there. But until then, or actually until, no matter what, I don't even know my own sentence, no matter what, call your freaking hits. That's what I was trying to say. See you next week, guys.